It's Sunday, and we're doing okay. I'm just trying to make sure that I don't have any mistakes whatsoever. And just as we continue to listen and get better and better and better, we're just trying to understand what's going on out there, just trying to get a good quality program for you. Still working on some of our equipment, but it's getting there. We're getting quite confused with some things, but for the most part, we are doing okay. Um, just trying to figure out some little nuances of everything, and that's what when you own something. You got to figure out the little nuances. And let me bring that screen back up. And so, first time by the Parafair live stream, welcome in. Thank you for being in. Sorry, I looked at the wrong camera. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for spending time with us. Hopefully, as you leave out today and as we entertain you for the next few hours or whatever, you push that subscribe button, follow button. I notice we have a uptick in people who are listening to our show and listening to our content. So thank you all around the world. I was looking at some of the stats that are coming in, and every time the show's over, somebody sends me something to just either I look at it as all encouragement. I look at it as all encouragement to just keep working, keep doing better, and keep producing. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna continue working. Been a long day. Got a long stretch ahead of me this week, but ready to do it. Ready to be on the live stream to keep me going and keep you going, whatever you're doing. And as I bring this back over here, a little back thing, and it says whatever it takes, whatever it takes. I know this week I have to put in some hours this week. I got to put in some long hours, some 12, 13-hour days. But hey, if you want something in life, and if you want to do something, if you really want something, you're gonna have to put in the time, and you're really gonna have to be dedicated in what you're doing. I know everybody wants to have this and have that, but you got to put in the work. And that's something that I've been taught a long time ago, and I can he and ha about it and complain about this and complain about that. But at the end of the day, I gotta put the work in. I really gotta put the work in. I'm trying to do a few things with the music and in the background. It's not working out as nice as I thought it would work out, but we're going to stay after it. We're really going to stay after it. We're going to, continue working on it, and that's all we can do. So hopefully, make sure we're not, yeah, hopefully we're not getting any bad audio from somewhere, and audio's coming out and not going in the right situation. Have a lot of adjustments I made the last few days, but so be it. It is what it is. We'll make the best of it. We'll try to do what we can do, but the show must go on. And so, first time you hear, we have this wheel. We have this wheel that guides our show. We have this wheel that guides our show. We have various topics around, and it's a random wheel. It picks random topics. Last night, picked some random things, and so every show is a little bit different. They're not all the same. I know if you listen to the podcast or introduction, we state the story, we state some things that we agree with, we confusing what we agree with, and we put a conclusion on it, and we're off to the next one. This one's a little bit different. We have, sometimes we'll go over sporting news, entertainment news, stock tips, Twitter, go to Facebook Live. Went to Facebook Live last night. Would you rather? So we have about, I say, 16, 17 things. Tech talk with Windows tips. I'm learning, not just me, but I'm learning a lot of things about the tech tips. I have my handy dandy MacBook Air that's here and it's blinking at me. So I got to get the operating system up this week, and I got time to do it. I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to work on it. I'm going to put it in my backpack and take it into the office tomorrow and work on it and work on it. And we'll get it back and running and be tip-top shape. We usually have, my equipment that I have. I usually have two computers going, one to, guide the program, one to get the program out to you. So the computer I'm using now is a workhorse. It's doing everything. It is sending out a pretty good signal, and so we're pretty happy with it for the most part. So we'll continue working on it and working on it and working on it, and that's all we can do. So without further ado, let's get to our wheel and see what the wheel wants us to do today. And hey, he wants to stop at old Instagram. So we haven't looked at Instagram in a while. So haven't looked at Instagram. So let's pull up the Instagram. We are on Instagram. Um, we are on Instagram. We have over, I think, 1,100. We've been really hitting Instagram really hard, getting users. I know last week we gained a few more. Last week, and just I pulled it up, we gained a few more today. If you follow us, we'll follow you, and it's just real simple and real easy, and that's how it goes. So just pretty simple how it works, and so be it. So let me so as we go to our Instagram, let me go over here and click. Like I said, we have a lot of people. We have 1,137 followers. Hopefully, we can get a little bit more this week. Following 4,785. And we're on their list, and we'll continue. The podcast is about motivating ourselves to the next level. Please continue to support our podcast. We have a website you can go to, and as you go to our website, there's some things that, some links in there, and some podcasts that you can listen to, some older shows that you can listen to. So it's a lot you can get to in our on our Instagram. We have some of the books that are selling a lot, so we can learn about more about ourselves. But we do have a website, and we're going to continue working on that. So we do post things, and lately I, I'm gonna post some more stuff tomorrow about our show and our podcast that we're gonna have. Um, the thing about Instagram is, sometimes if I can get the podcast in about 15 minutes, it'll go to IG or whatever. But sometimes it just takes the first minute, whatever, and post it. But that's okay. That's okay. So um, it's okay. Instagram's all right. So as we go, and we see right here, we have this lovely couple here, and um, happy 6th anniversary to my amazing wife, best friend, baby mama, Shantae. Normally we go out on a nice dinner and take um, a trip, but this pandemic is set up. We're going to try to cook steak dinner for each other, sit around the house and watching it. And yeah, that's what usually happens. You have all these plans and stuff, and then next thing you know it, you're sitting around the house watching the kids, and thinking about being a parent. It's not an easy job, but it's a great job to have. And as we continue working and continue being patient, that's one thing about marriage life. It's a give or take, and sometimes you think you don't, you're giving a lot more than you're taking, but it's okay. My friend, he always tells me this story. I'll share that later, but it's a funny story about how there's a gray area in a marriage, and you just so. But the thing is, you got to be patient. You find the right one, and you hang out with her, and that's just how it's gonna be, and so be it. You just enjoy it, and that's all you can do. Is so. All right, let's scroll along here, and I've been getting a lot of this lady right here she posts a lot of stuff on Instagram lately, and so it's fine. It's fine. Um, it's fine. So some people are very active on Instagram. They post like 5, 6 things a day, and then some people, they post 1 or 2 things a day, and we move on with our lives. But everyone's a little bit different how they do this. Some people, they create their Instagram accounts, and that's how it is. Other people, they go full bore, and so be it. So um, this is Off the Record podcast. Um, Unpopular opinion: a healthy can might be a bigger weapon in that scheme than Tom was. This is I was at the business, and I looked up there, and I guess the Patriots have signed Cam Newton to a 1-year contract. See how it works out with him. So, you know, we'll see. I I don't have an opinion about it. I really don't care. It's hard replacing someone like that. It's the expectations are high, so that's why I guess they signed it for a 1 year deal. But he's got to be himself. He's got the main thing is if he's healthy, he can help a team out. If you're not healthy, you can't. If you're healthy, you can't help anybody out. And so that's where you have to understand yourself and understand what's going on. A lot of these guys are not healthy, and so um, it hinders your performance. Just like my as I look back here, my MacBook Pro is not healthy, but we'll get it. We'll get it. That's our goal this week is to work on that and get that thing up and running and get it in tip top shape. But like I said, everyone, this is a pretty cool little podcast. If you ever catch this off the record podcast, pretty cool little podcast. Try to catch it. Guys are pretty on top of what's going on. Um, Pretty good little podcast to follow. I don't think it's little. It's a big podcast. So let me flash over. Hate to show you the same people. Like I said, some people they just every day they send stuff over. So we have these. It's just nice to see. A couple weeks ago, I'm not saying, I kept seeing was protest, 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 protest. And today I start seeing a lot more pictures of people together. Hopefully these people are these you know, it's great to take these pictures, but make sure that we have our distance. And so, but like I said, these we have listeners all around the world, and this one's in Spanish, and so I'm trying to figure out where these people are. But it's kind of cool about Instagram. What I like about the 1,100 followers we have, they're all over the world, and so they always send me pictures. It's kind of like taking a field trip all over the world and seeing different things that are going on, around the world. So that it's cool. It's cool to see different things that are going around the world. So so as we look at this one right here, look like someone's got a mosquito bite. So this is what it's right here. Spice It Up podcast. Someone posted a picture of a mosquito bite, and the mosquitoes are out. And you got enough to deal with the pandemic. Now you have to deal with the mosquitoes. So that's always interesting. You have to deal with that. But I was watched this show called Moonshiners on TV. It's Moonshiners. I always watch that. Not because I like moonshine and all this other stuff. I just like how they put the stills together, and they were talking about how they go out in the deep of the woods and the mosquitoes out there, and so they put this. Um, I think they put Listerine. They sprayed Listerine on themselves or mouthwash or something like that. They just take a spray bottle and just spray it, and they said that keeps the mosquitoes off them. So I've tried it a few times, and it's pretty effective. But the mosquitoes, they just when they come when they start getting dark, they just start coming out and they just start attacking everything. So um, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So yeah. So as we continue, it's good to see. Yeah, it's good to see people out cooking. I know I don't have a grill this big, but we got a new grill this weekend. Same one we had before, but a little bit newer. So we have a little small grill, and I like the small grill because it's efficient and it just gets stuff out. We have a bigger grill that's more charcoal. We're only cooking for 3 or 4 people, so um, but it's good to see people out barbecuing and enjoying the summer. I know to we have a lot of stuff going on, and we trying to feel like we can't understand it. But today, this weekend, we just did some simple things. We put our tents in the backyard, and we just went out in the backyard, laid in the backyard, and laid in the tents, and just hung out there and had barbecues and just made the best of our backyard. It's not big like this one right here, but it's enough. It's enough, and it wasn't hot. It wasn't too cold. So we had a good time and just hanging out and and that's what it's about. Just in the summertime, just hanging out before it gets cold and everyone bunkers in back inside. So that's always interesting to see people who are out there and just enjoying, barbecuing and whatnot. There's a lot of good barbecue places around the, United States, and I was talking to someone about some barbecue just recently. I think it was Friday or Saturday. I was talking, I think Saturday, and there's some barbecue in Memphis, Tennessee, and a place called Rendezvous is very good. Kansas City has some good places to eat barbecue. In northern Alabama, they have some good barbecue. There's this place we go to all the time in northern Alabama. It's a really good place. Like their slogan is "No place like it," and so it's interesting. We have barbecue here, but it's not. I It doesn't taste the same. I don't know. It's something we go and it's just not. It doesn't. I don't know. I don't know if it just moves me or not. It's just blah. It's just real bland. It doesn't have that kick to it. And everyone swears by it that lives here, because that's their only sample is that certain place. And I said there's so many other better barbecue places to go to. Some of I just mentioned there are better barbecue places than that, but um, this is where we're gonna summertime. It's time to barbecue. Get your grill ready and get outside and get you a sweet tea or something and just relax. So, um, it's just like speaking of relaxing, as I look at this one right here, let me pull up a little bit more. As I look at this, guys, just starting the day like today we started and got some coffee and um, started our day and just we got to produce, and episode 18 is going strong. We want to hear what everyone has to say about it, so don't forget to dive in and like I said, these guys who are guys and girls who are doing these podcasts, stay after it. You never know what's going to happen. I really enjoy my podcast and putting things out there. Last night we listened to a podcast. The Will picked the podcast. We listened to it. I haven't listened to that podcast in over a year. So that was interesting just listening to it and just like, okay, that kind of got my fire going again for another podcast. Tomorrow I get to produce another podcast and put it out there, and another story I get to, read and kind of dig deep into what I'm doing. So it's always interesting to put the podcast together and get the live stream together. The live stream um, is getting better, but I still got all these nuances, and I got to simplify the process. I know when I started the podcast, it was very difficult to start, but we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. I think when you're doing stuff like this, you got to constantly tinker with stuff. You got to constantly just tinker, 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 and eventually you'll get it. Eventually you'll get it. It just takes time. It just takes time. Yeah. Yeah. Just as I'm going through, um, we have, like I said, we have people who really love their sneakers and whatnot. Um, and I got some new. Like I said, I've never owned Air Jordans before. Um, they're not. They're nice, but for me, my shoes, I'm too rough on I'm too rough on my shoes, um, and I use them, for my tennis shoes. I use them for work, and I use them for certain things, and so I try to get comfort. My job, is to be on my feet a lot, and so comfort is the number one thing I'm looking for, and it's something that's when I get home, my feet aren't tired, so I can come to the live stream. But if my feet are tired, I'm tired. It just makes a long day, and it's just hard. It's very hard to stay motivated. But these are some sweet looking shoes here, and so very interesting shoes. We have a lot of people on Instagram who love shoes. Um, yeah, I'm just scrolling through. Go back to this barbecue. Looks good. Smoking Seas Famous Barbecue, St. Louis style ribs, Saturday, July 4th. Dry rub, pineapple glaze. One full rack, $30. Two full racks, $55. Four full racks, $100. Call. And here's a number you can call if you're in that area. That area code. Please call them up. Um, Send them our way, and so I always try to support people who are hustling out there. Last night I was showing my sister-in-law, this lady who was hustling on Facebook, and she was doing a live stream, and she was showing the stuff that she made and trying to get rid of it. And she's like, but yeah, I just trying to say it's out there. It's out there, but you gotta hustle. Yeah, I gotta make sure I turn my sound off sometimes. Um, me, there's people. Okay, so we got these people who are hiking, and like, cause make sure that you don't get any copyright strikes and stuff, because turn this all the way down. The YouTube police will be on my case about this, and you copyrighted this and copyrighted that, and So I guess they took a hike yesterday. Um, I I'm not trying to be the TikTok police or whatever, but there's TikTok. I go to be honest with you. For me, when I go to TikTok, I'm going there to laugh and see people do silly stuff. Um, I'm not really going there to see someone's hike, or see pictures of people. Instagram, I'll do that, but not, um, you know, no. So, all right. This guy, every day, I don't know, no, I think it's some other guy, but like I said, people are getting out more, and they're just sitting around, and they are, just hanging out, taking pictures, and to be honest with you, this is probably for me, it's like the best part of the year. The sun goes down late. It's For me, I like to fish a lot, so I can fish longer. The sun comes up early, so for me, for me, my ideal day is real simple. It's get up as soon as the sun, well, not even before the sun gets up. Throw all my stuff in the truck or whatever, fishing equipment. Get to the lake or river when the sun's coming up over the trees. Fish about 4 hours until about 10 o'clock when it gets too hot. Head back to the house, and then from 10 to about 3:30, 3 o'clock, do some things, do some stuff around the house. Take a nap, whatever I need to do. If I have the whole day off, and then around 4:30, 5 o'clock, 3:30, 4 o'clock, go back out, fish again until it gets dark, and then do it all again. But that's some days I get a chance to do that on my vacations. And I like that. I haven't done that in a while. And I like to fish a lot, but just right now, just sitting around the house and just kind of makes me anxious. So yeah, hate sitting around the house. Okay, so let's like I said, I'm getting through some of these. I'm getting people who really nothing wrong with them. Um, just you know, this guy every day. Um, every day he takes a picture of himself and he sends it out. Same facial expression every day, and nothing wrong with it. I kind of think it's kind of cool. He's not trying to be, has a different shirt on, whatever. But he's just, good morning, happy Sunday, fun day, peeps. Stay safe and healthy. And it's just real simple, and, just not trying to do much. Just saying hi everybody and doing okay, and it's simple. And a lot of times, simple on these platforms, it works. Sometimes we try to get way too creative and do all these things, and I think that's what happened to me today. I'm trying to do way too much, and just, I think the equipment I have, it's great and everything, but I got to make sure I go back to the basics and just keep it real simple. The things I'm producing, it's great that I'm producing it, but I got to make sure it's real simple for myself, real simple for everyone that's involved. Um, and I like how every day I open up Instagram and like, was that the picture from yesterday, today, or whatever? But they're all about the same picture, same smile. Um, but he does it every day, and it's kind of cool. It's kind of real cool how he does that every day. So this is a cool little picture before we get out of here. I like this picture a lot. Um, there is, I know there is a trains. But my son really loves trains. I like trains a lot. Um, I was thinking about taking a train trip, and there's a part of where I live. You can take the train, and it goes right by this body of water, and it's just beautiful. And you can, if you get on the right side of the train, you just sit there, and you're just in awe of all the water that is there, and you know how beautiful and blue it is, and just um, amazing. So this kind of looks at, as I look at this one, this one's more or less carrying coal or whatever, and it just kind of reminds me of a place I fish. I go fishing, and you can hear the train running. It's moving coal. The train just keeps going all night, and just it just keeps moving stuff, and so interesting, interesting. I, like I said, I like photographs, and I gotta do a little bit better with my just I, like I said, keeping everything simple, keeping everything simple. Just it's hard. It's hard, folks. It's hard. So, all right. So, Instagram today, and to be honest with you, as I looked at Instagram and I looked at some things that people are doing with Instagram, pretty simple. Pretty simple for the most part. Um, a couple weeks ago, it was just really, Instagram was just flooded with just people who are, what's going on in the world is it's just rough, So, interesting that people are starting to take more pictures of themselves, not protesting. So things settling down a little bit. Okay. All right. So let's get back to our wheel. As we can get this wheel going, the wheel says, you know what? I just looked at this when I said vacation tips. Vacation tips. Huh. Okay. All right. Let's remove this. So, as we are in this pandemic, and then to be honest with you, I just talked about a vacation tip, and um, I know some people don't have backyards. Some people do have backyards. Um, Even if you don't have a backyard, you got to kind of start using your imagination. If I didn't have a backyard, and my family wanted to camp out or whatever, I would just, maybe camp out in the living room. Move everything, and just camp out in the living room. Or if you live in an apartment, if they camp out by the, in the quad area or something like that. Um, there's so many places that you can go for cheap, and you don't have to really spend much. There's a lot of campgrounds that you know they will accommodate you. It all depends on what you want to do. I've been at places where you have the high end where they give you everything that you want. From not saying the place I'm thinking about. They they give you bikes, they give you, basket, they give you food. You can go down to the beach, and they'll have a masseuse come to you. And this is a campground. This is camping here. I don't think it's camping, but if you need a blanket or you need a fishing pole, whatever you need, they're gonna make sure that you're comfortable. You want to put your feet in the creek. They'll give you slippers. Whatever they want. They just make sure that you're comfortable. Then I'm in places where they don't give you anything at all, and you just have to rough it out. You sleeping in a trailer. You sleeping on the floor. You sleeping in a tent. It's dark. It's dusty, and it's musty, and it is what it is. Um, but the thing about vacation tips for me, be honest with you, you got to know your party. You have to know the people that you're going with. I know my friend. She just went to Lake Havasu. She went to Lake Havasu, and she told me it's like 111 there. And I said, "Wow, that sounds amazing. That really sounds amazing." But I know myself, I like heat, but there's a point where I'm like, okay, that's enough. For them, she says, they enjoy it. They, their kids and her husband. They do this annual trip every year, and they enjoy the heat. They don't seem to mind it too much, and they just enjoy it. Um, I know my wife, and she doesn't really like heat that much. She doesn't like that heat. The other day we went to go play tennis, and it was getting warm out there, and she's like, "Okay, we've had enough." So I know the party that I'm in. So when you're planning vacations, and not just summer vacations, but like winter vacations, if you're gonna go in the snow, or if you're gonna go someplace, you need to know who you're going with. You got to kind of read the people that you're going with. If you know that your kids, when you're going out in the snow, we like to go up to the snow and throw snowballs and go, trek around in the snow. But we know that we can only do it for a certain amount of time. Um, Certain amount of time, that's how much, for maybe 2 or 3 hours, and then we're done. We're done with the snow. That's just us. The climate we live in, we don't get to see snow, but when we do go see it, um, it's, it's there, and we go play in it, but we don't want to be there for a week, um, but that's just things that you have to do, and you have to really take some mental notes. um, I know someone was talking to someone Saturday about taking a road trip, and I told him, you got to take the right people. You just can't just go and jump in the car, and then take your buddies or your wife or your girlfriend or whatever you're taking across the country, because you got to have a plan. I know a lot of people are driving and using RVs this summer, but as you do this, there's got to be someone who, when you travel, you got to have a sense of humor. That's, let me say this is the number one thing. You got to have a sense of humor, because there's gonna be some things that happen to you that you just have to just laugh all the time, and just some things that you just like, whatever. I know, we were we took this crazy road trip one year, where we flew into Atlanta, and then went from Atlanta, drove down to Florida, to the Florida Keys, and then we drove back up to Virginia, up to New York, and then back down to Alabama, then Atlanta again. So we planned it all out. I think we went to Baltimore, and um, Alexandria, Virginia. We went to all these places, and it was a great trip. It was a great trip, but there's parts of the trip where, when you go into this trip, people get, you're in this car together. You're in this car, and everything just starts getting closer and closer on you. And at first, everyone's in a good mood, and everyone's happy, and then, day 5 or 6 or 7, and then people get on each other's nerves. They want to, the radio stations, they get on each other's nerves about the radio station. Maybe some people don't want to eat certain places, so you got to kind of find out. And as we're going across, the eastern part, we realize, there's certain places we like to stop, and they're consistently the same. We know that, during that time, I think my son, he was smaller, and we realized that the McDonald's restrooms, and it's not, they were clean. They were always clean, no matter where we went. The McDonald's restaurants were clean, and to be honest with you, we would just grab something to eat there, and then where we gone? We wouldn't grab something big. We would get a little snack or whatever, and we were done. We also realized that, when we had to go get snacks or whatever we need to do, the WalMarts were right off the interstate. There's a reason why they're right off the interstate. They didn't have to go too far into town. It's kind of cool. If I had to do it all over again, I would try to grab a high school T-shirt, or college that Walmart is close to, and just trying to grab some of those T-shirts, so I can remember where we stopped for the most part. But the WalMarts, everything about the WalMarts are, if you go to any Walmart, they're all about the same, how they have them structured, how they have them built. So you're not wasting time, and you're going there and getting snacks and getting food, and going to the restaurant, because they're all the same. If you go somewhere that one place is different from the other, you're wasting a lot of time. So that's what we liked about the McDonald's and the Walmarts and stopping, is they're consistently the same. And so when you're looking for certain things, you're not running around and wasting time. So Some of the hotels we stayed in, and here's the thing about some of these hotels. Some of them are really just you'll find some really nice ones, and then you find some ones that really aren't that nice on the road, and you have to be very careful. For myself, I'm not saying every night we have to stay at a 5 star hotel, 4 star hotel. There's some really, ones that are really consistent. I know for some reason or another we like the La Quinta brand. We for some reason La Quinta always has like a nice continental breakfast or whatever. We could make some waffles or whatever. So that took another expense off is that breakfast in the morning where we just loaded up on a breakfast and then we were good and we're good and then we realized lunch for us wasn't really important. So we would just snack and then dinner, that's when we spent most of our monies on our dinner. So breakfast we would find make sure that the hotel had a nice breakfast buffet or whatever you can buy. But you got to be careful because sometimes one time we did get sick. We got really sick eating that the breakfast buffet, and it was really a bad experience, and that hurt us for a few days of traveling. So you do have to be careful with the little buffets, and especially with the stuff going on now. So, but those little things that you can do to just save a little money, make sure that your hotel has something that you can eat. Embassy Suites does a great job of that. They have a great little breakfast thing. You go down there and you eat, and you're good. There's a place that we go to, and it's a beautiful place in Oxnard, California, the Mandalay Bay. It's right there on the ocean. Um, you can take your bikes. You can rent bikes. You can just sit on the beach. You can, I'm not gonna say it's always. Be honest with you, every time we've gone, it's been a great experience. Been a great experience, and you can look at the ocean. You can get close to the ocean. You can, basically have a room on the ocean. It's going to cost you, but that's just how it is, and you're going to pay for your vacation, and you got to be ready. It's a little, to be honest with you, it's a little bit colder than you would think in the summertime. So if you're going somewhere that you think it's going to be hot, yeah, that's just how it is there. So, but there's just some things as your vacation. Make sure that you have a sense of humor. Make sure that you're gonna spend a little bit more money than you budgeted. So, and sometimes trying to save that $5 or $10, it's not worth it for your comfort. When you're on the road and you get to go to a hotel room, or the biggest thing is you want to have a good night's rest. You want to have a good night's rest. You want when you lay down, you don't want your bed stinking. You want something that you don't want your room smells like smoke or whatever. Then you're sick, and then it's all this other stuff that's going on. So when you travel on the road, you try to look for places that are consistently, well kept. So make sure you use like um, I would say Yelp and all these other places, but sometimes those are misleading. I would highly suggest just check around, go to their website, not their website, but just go and like we have so many resources like with Facebook and you can type in some stuff on Instagram and Twitter and just see what people say, about their experiences. There's always going to be someone who's going to say it was great. There's going to be some people, to be honest with you, who said things just aren't so great. And as I look back at some of the hotels that we stayed at, um, for us, we're different. We're a little bit different. Some things that we like, and we took another couple with, they really didn't like the hotel. So you got to understand who you're traveling with, and also you got to figure out when you're traveling with couples and kids and stuff. Some people like to be honest with you. Some people, myself, and my wife and my son, um, our hotel, we don't stay there like and hang out at our hotel all day. What we do is we wake up we wake up, we get a good breakfast, and we say, okay, these are the spots that we want to hit in the city or whatever we're going to do. These are activities we want to do, and we're gone all day. We're gone all day. When we were in New York City, that's what we did. We planned it out, and we were just gone all day, and we would come back, and with a small child, um, he would conk out in the stroller, and then we would just come home, like at 7 to 8, whatever. Sometimes we would come back in the middle of the day, rest up, and then head back out. But for the most part of the time, we're not sitting in a hotel room just watching HBO and all this other stuff. We're out. The hotel is just somewhere to rest and keep moving for us. But then you got some people who just want to sit by the pool. They want to just sit in the hotel and relax themselves. For us, that doesn't work for us. So you're gonna sometimes when you go with couples, we went with one time we went with this couple. They just wanted to stay at the pool, for 4 days, and we wanted to go. I think we were in Hawaii. We wanted to go see the island, and so it got kind of a conflict right there between the two couples. Like, hey, um, we didn't come fly all this way to sit at a pool. We can go sit at a pool anywhere. We want to see the island. And they got kind of mad about that. And so when they started driving the car, they didn't want to stop anywhere. They said, "Oh, did you see enough?" I'm like, "No, we didn't." So my wife and I started playing cards in the back, whatever. But make sure that, like I said, when you're traveling with people, traveling with family members, be very selective of who you pick to go on your trip with you, because they can make or break your trip. And be honest with you, there's some people, no matter where you take them, no matter where you go, they're not going to be happy. They're not going to be happy where you go. So you know, um, they're not happy here where they are now, and they're not going to be happy if you take them 3,000 miles away in the most beautiful place. They're going to find something negative to say about something. So just be aware of that as you go. Okay, so some vacation tips. I know it's summertime. People are thinking about taking some vacation tips. The last tip I would say: make sure that wherever you stay, they have a lot of things to do. Um, that's a benefit. Have a lot of things. I mean, have a lot of things to do. Like, I'm thinking of this place that we go to, and we like it because we get a chance to ride our bikes. We get a chance to, go boating, fishing. We get to play tennis. My wife likes to go to the spa. Little things like that. I'm not saying go all out. Um, and there's the best part. And sometimes like we do have our chill days where we just sit by the pool, and it's nothing nicer than sit at a pool and then people just bring you food and drinks and stuff. That's nice. So every now and then you have that chill day where you can just sit by the pool and chill and just not do anything and just read magazines and sit in your cabana and just hang out. Hey, whatever. So a lot to do, a lot of decisions, but the main thing is keep laughing, and you worked hard. The thing is, when you're taking a vacation, you worked hard for this vacation. So there's no need to go get mad and stuff. And you worked hard, and you're like, man, I didn't really enjoy my vacation. So enjoy it. So, all right. So vacation tips. Hope you enjoy it. It's the first time we did vacation tips. I like talking about vacation tips. I like traveling a lot. Hopefully, um, after everything settles down, I get to travel a lot more. I like seeing the world. Um, I can't just imagine just sitting around thinking that my little block right here is what the whole world's about, because it's not. So it doesn't make sense. But some people, hey, whatever makes you happy. So let's Mr. Wheel was gonna say today. Oh, it's Twitter time. Twitter time. Okay, so we got some Twitter action going. Got some Twitter action, and the thing is, we haven't been on Twitter in a while, so you got to kind of be ready for Twitter. I was, I'm not gonna. I'm just trying to get out of this screen. I was talking to someone today. About Twitter, and we are on Twitter. We're on Periscope. Um, Twitter's very interesting, but you got to be ready for Twitter. As I just pulled into Twitter, and you got to be ready for Twitter. It's one of those things that just really when you go in there, there's gonna be some opinions thrown around. There's gonna be some people who gonna say this and say that, and what we're gonna do is we're just gonna skim the surface. We're not gonna dive deep into it and get into everyone's opinions, because we could be here until Christmas talking about one subject. So Twitter has a lot of opinions, and as I open up our Twitter, like I said, we're on Twitter, and so as we open it up, as you can see. Um, this lady, this is in Northern Hollywood, in a, if you're not familiar, we have this grocery store called Trader Joe's, and it's a lot of organic foods and just a lot of like healthy place to eat a lot of stuff, a lot of good food there, a lot of healthy places, and so right now we have this pandemic, and they're requiring people to come into the stores with their mask on. They're requiring everyone to come in the store, have a mask on, and so this lady right here, she is very upset that someone at the store, and someone, and these are the employees. They always have these wild shirts on. Someone at the store asked her to put on a mask, and she's going irate, and you can look it up. She's going irate that, um, she has a breathing problem, and her doctor asked her not to do it. But this part right here, they're asking her to leave. And earlier, they see you see her throwing a basket down. You see her throwing a basket down, and she's upset that someone called her out. I think she's upset that someone called her out about her mask. I don't think she's upset about her breathing problem. And the thing is, if you have a breathing problem, if you're going out in the public, you got to make sure that you have some documentation to back it up. Just you saying it is not. Then she said some other things on the news, and so, um, as we're trying to protect ourselves, and this is, like I said, this is in Los Angeles, and they have a lot of cases going there, and so, her spewing and yelling and stuff, and they just saying, thank you for. So as you can see on the other hand, right there, Newsom closes bars in L.A. and 6 other counties due to coronavirus, and so it's getting worse and worse and worse. So, but like I said, when we go in, like I said, we could, you know, like right here, there's 7,000 comments right there. People have retweeted it, shared it. Um, I'm not going to get into it, but usually when we go to Twitter, um, we kind of look at what's trending, kind of seeing what's trending, what's not trending, what's going on. And what we're going to do is we're just going to go down 1 through 10. And, I usually go, no, I go 10, 9, 8. And the cool thing about Twitter, is in the morning, Twitter moves fast, and Twitter moves extremely fast. And in the morning, you think that, okay, this is a topic, whatever, like the chai airing on Showtime. Okay, oh, that's great, yeah, the chai's, and you come back in the nighttime, it's totally something different. It moves that quick, and so I don't have Showtime, but imagine if these people. I guess this is a show. Let's click on here. The Chi. This is the lives of residents on the south side of Chicago. So, so like I said, as you go, you can, you have, you usually click on this stuff. You have people, it says tweet about the chai. You can add your little comments in there. So, just, you get people's comments about what's going on. Just interesting. I've never watched this show, and this is because I guess I don't have HBO. And they caught my man, his phone's upside down and stuff. So just little stuff like that. So just interesting how, you know, just interesting show, and there's so many more things out there to look at, and so, um, just interesting, interesting, interesting. So, like I said, Twitter moves really fast, and so that's number 10. And then we have this person right here. And so, Evan. uh, yeah. So this guy's trending because he's the sexiest man alive. Yes, I agree. So, um, so this, a good thing about Twitter, and I was just talking to my sister-in-law about this. It exposes me to a lot more things. And to be honest with you, I had no idea who this guy was, but now I do. We're talking about the other day, Black Pink or Pink Black or something like that. This K-pop group, and my sister-in-law said, "Let me look them up." So we're just, it's interesting to see different things. Um, so we have this person. Um, so this is probably the BET Awards. And so I didn't watch the BET Awards tonight. I was at work, and so I didn't have time. And so, um, she put an amazing performance on. Um, I've heard her sing before, and they're really good. Yeah, they're very good. So yeah, so then we have Vince Scully. Um, he's a Dodger broadcaster. Yeah, he must have. Yeah, he's been broadcasting. Yeah. So it's, they trying to turn Vince Scully into racism, racist. You know. Yeah. It's just this guy towards the thing about him, he was just told some wonderful stories about the guy's backgrounds and what's going on, and he's a great storyteller. And so it's just interesting, He just like you will forget that you're watching a baseball game listening to him talk, and he's just talking about these guys. Um, he really had a lot of insight. Okay. Summer Walker and Usher, so I guess they perform. So performing at the BETs, and there's so much music to listen to, and I was just so much music to listen to, and I'll listen to this and then like before I go to bed. Summer Walker, but I was just explaining to my wife we were going through our phones. We were going through our phones. We were going through our phones yesterday, Saturday. We were, like I said, we were out in the tent, just hanging out in the tent, and she didn't realize that we had this Apple family plan where you can just listen to music and unlimited music. We pay like $15 a month, so she has it and I have it, and so the reason why I have it is just to, keep updated with the music, whatever. We like music. We have music for our kids, whatever. Just to to stay in the know. That's the reason why we have it. So as we were, she's like I don't have that. I said, let's check. Let me check your phone. And she looked at it. She goes, oh, you have it. She goes, why didn't you tell me you have it? I said, I did, but you just didn't, you just didn't care. So, like I said, it gives me a chance, and I see stuff on Twitter. If I didn't have it, then I have to download their songs, and then I'm like, if I don't like it or not, whatever. So this gives me a chance to just, listen to it. If I like it, I like it. If I don't like it, so be it. So, um, Summer Walker. So I'll listen to some of her stuff before I go to bed tonight. That's what I like about Twitter. So much that, so many things. All right, so we have the Pats, and so I imagine. Um, so Cam Newton's going to the Patriots, and so that's interesting. Patriots become the first team to lose an MVP and add an MVP in the same off season. Yeah, okay. So, like I said, just about Twitter. You guys were all traded for Chris Paul. A lot of people said it was one of the one-sided trade. The Rockets when the Clippers got scraps. Yeah. I don't know why is this in the Pats though. Beverly, Lou, and Trez. They're all pretty good players. Um, so hopefully what he does is does well. It's just whoever goes in and tries to replace Tom Brady, it's gonna you know all the championships he won. It's gonna be hard, but he just can keep them. Um, you know, so it got. I thought they were talking about the Patriots. They're talking about something very differently. Yeah. uh, yeah. That's this guy's an interesting cat here. He's interesting. So, but just I don't anyone trying to do something different. I'm not mad at him. So then we have number 4. We have Beyonce. Beyonce urges viewers to take action in the BET Awards acceptance speech. So yeah, it urges Black people to vote like our life depends on it. And so that's what's coming up in November. And they said like over 10 million, 15 million people didn't even vote last on the last election, and now we have to deal with a lot more. So interesting. She has a film coming out on July 31st on Disney Plus. I don't have Disney Plus, but I know somebody who does. I can always do that. Humanitarian Award, she won that. So some, like I said, Twitter, Twitter is funny. You got some people from, oh, but the thing about Beyonce, she's got that group, the Queen Bees or whatever they call them. If you say something about her, they come at you hard. So they're probably on here trolling around and waiting for somebody to say something about her. They'll be on top of them. So um, they love Beyonce. They got her back no matter what. You know, so she's very talented, very talented lady. Um, very talented. So all right. So then we have Van Jones. Van Jones. So Van Jones helped craft the Trump's administration weak police reform bill. Then he went on TV to praise it. Van Jones strictly helped craft the weak Trump police reform. The ex-Obama aide willingly to help trade, whom he once dubbed among the worst born. Wow. Whoa. So, whoa. So he 1 minute he's calling him out. The next thing he's on there. Wow. So, ah. When else was Van Jones strictly collaborating with Jared Kushner while not disclosing his role? CNN star Van Jones helped Jared Kushner craft Trump's toothless police reform, and then went on CNN praise it. Never once disclosing that he worked on it. Wow. And yeah, he that might do him in right there. Yeah. So today's the day that Van Jones became Sean Hannity. uh, it's time to fire Van. Yeah, he might be. He might be. Yeah, he might be done. So we're not gonna dive deep into it. We're just gonna brush over it. And yeah, and I laugh sometimes, and excuse me, I laugh sometimes because a lot of this stuff, and these people who are really into politics and doing all this stuff, they don't understand that a lot of this stuff, these people, they hang out, they live in the same neighborhoods, and they help each other more than you think they do. And so I don't see this as eye opening. I said, okay, he got caught, and um, you know, he reached out to them, they reached out to him. Um, yeah, and so now, yeah, say people, there's people are on, the thing about Twitter, like I said, 1 minute they're praising Beyonce, now Van Jones, they didn't, he's, um, yeah, this guy. Things I hope black people leave in 2020. Van Jones, Kanye West, COVID-19, the police, Sally Mae. Oh. See, they're on him, man. Van Jones is a joke and an operator. Um, yeah, I'm so beyond done with Van Jones. Just go to your gig at Fox News, dude. You've been auditioning for 3 years. Yeah, yeah, So, and number two, we have Cam Newton. Cam Newton is joining the Patriots. ESPN reports. Then you got some of his teammates. So happy for my guy. Um, Cam Newton taking over the Patriots after Brady left. They've been talking about this for a while. Um, I think they had had to get his physical and everything. Um, so that's the thing. This pandemic, no one's been really able to do anything. Um, so that's interesting. Um, yeah, hopefully he does well. I don't like to see anyone fail and do anything. Then you got, this Stephen A. talking about stuff and putting his little spin on everything. And, sometimes I think people just say these things just to get people hyped up. You know, some people just that's tight there. That's tight there. Yeah. I gotta send my friend this one right here. He probably already got it already though. He's on top of this stuff. He's on top of it big time. So that's cool. That's tight. Let me see if I can send it to him. I like that. Let me see. I don't think I can. I might. Yeah, they say it can't be message. So let me see if I can try one more thing. Yeah. Let's see. No, it's just all right. It's all right. He say he's seen it already. I don't have to. He sees stuff before I do. And the last one is the BET Awards. So the BET Awards. Congratulations to Beyonce. Yeah, Beyonce. You can, you know, Michelle Obama. Yeah, you can see who what. Yeah, everything's about Beyonce. Chris Brown and Drake collaboration. That's Chris Brown. He's looking older and older. Still producing. Um, Chris Brown winner the best male rap pop artist. Um, Roddy Rich. So some things I got to check out on. Check out. I got to check out some things. Check out some things on some music and stuff just to get updated and try to understand what I'm looking at and whatnot. So interesting. I got a notification on Twitter. Let me see. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Twitter is getting. I'm getting better with Twitter. I'm getting better. I just clicked on the Twitter and I just saw. Yeah, this it's gonna be a rough. It's gonna be a crazy week this week. It's gonna be a really crazy week. Um, this one person. Let me just go. What the? Hold on a second. This is the same lady? No, that can't be the same chick. What the heck's wrong with her? Let me look at this lady. She's mad because she has to put on a. She didn't want to wear a mask, and so she's just throwing stuff on the ground. What's wrong with her? That's just yeah, yeah. Walk out like wow. These people are losing it. You know. This is in Dallas, Texas, I guess. Lovely young Karen throwing a fit over being asked to wear a mask. Oh, these people. Let me click back over here. These people are just um, oh meat. She's just throwing. Look at this. They should make her pay for all that stuff so nobody else can eat now. Since you want to share everybody's stuff. Look at this. Oh, just people just crack me up. Just, ay, 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 ay. It's going to be a interesting week. We have a lot of content we can cover, and just so not have to worry about that situation. We have a lot we can cover, and so that's always good. That's always good. So let me check the timer because I gotta get. So I gotta wrap this up, and so I gotta get out of here. I gotta get to bed. I gotta get up. It's been interesting. I'm sorry I was a little delayed. They usually we come on at 10, and I was messing around with the sound, and I wanted a certain sound and vibe, but I already had the sound and vibe. I don't know what was I thinking, So usually we come on at 10. We go from 10 to 12, and then, like I said, we use our wheel to kind of guide our show. And so I kind of never know what I'm going to talk about that day. If I just It's just kind of like interesting to see what the wheel picks. And today it picked some pretty good things to go over. Really enjoyed going into Instagram. Enjoyed going into Twitter. Talk about vacation tips. Some things that I experienced going on vacation. And like I said about a vacation, a vacation means you are. Um, Here's a last thing about when we go back to vacation tips. Try, if you can, to disconnect from your business, your work, or whatever. Try to leave whatever you're working on when you get on that plane, get in the car, whatever. Try to leave it behind you. Try not to answer emails. Try not to. If you, I know some people who own their business, they have to solve problems. Try to make sure. And the thing about when I take my vacation, it's kind of nice to take a vacation and get away from things, because then I come back and I can see, okay, this is what I need to work on. This didn't hold up while I was gone, so I need to put a better system in place. This worked well, so I know that I can do this again. So that's a good thing about when you on a vacation. Try not to. I know some people have to answer the emails. Some people have to get on their Zoom calls. Some people have to get on their Google Meets or whatever. But try to make sure that you enjoy yourself. You worked hard for that vacation, and um, there's no need to just be like, I see when I go to hotels all the time, they have a office, a business office. You can go in there and on the computer and work in there and stuff. And be honest with you, the many times I've traveled, I've only seen, I've used that thing. It's like an emergency. I know when I was in Hawaii, I had to do something real quick. But for the most part, try to, like I said, enjoy yourself. That's what a vacation is about. It's just relaxing, because once you get back to work, it's just hitting that grind again. So same thing. I got to get up tomorrow. I got to grind and come back tomorrow at 10 and keep grinding. So that's what we're gonna do. So as we continue, we just keep solving more problems. I got some more problems to solve tomorrow, and we'll keep at it. Okay. So thanks for joining the Parafair live stream, and hopefully we get to see you tomorrow at around 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And if not, you can watch it on the repeat too. So thank you for dropping by, and we will see you on the next one. Bye bye.